Good morning. It's a Monday morning. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. I hope everyone had a great weekend. I hope that you went out and had a lot of fun, that you enjoyed the great weather. If you're by a lake, I hope you went to the lake or the ocean or wherever you went to, or you had a barbecue. It was a great weekend. It was just a really relaxing weekend. For one thing, let me tell you, I got up on Saturday morning because when I went to bed that night, it was like 80-some degrees. It was hot. I got up in the morning and it was 59 degrees. I walked outside and the cold blast of air hit me and it was like a shocker. Same thing on Sunday morning and now this morning also, this Monday morning. It's nice and cool. But don't let that fool you because it's supposed to get up into the 90s all this week and up into the hundreds. So that's going to be fun, something to look forward to. So listen, I have been following the various states, and the state of Wisconsin voted that in high school, kids should be taught about finance and business and personal finance and business. I think that's wonderful. I think it's one of the most important things that kids should know when they're in high school. It should be required of every single student. Even when they get to college, I believe that they should be required to take a finance class because it changes your view of thinking of how you manage your money. And if you look at Americans today, they're not managing their money very well. If you look at what has happened recently because of inflation, you will see that credit card debt went skyrocketing. I mean, it went way up. Now, when we see such an increase in credit card debt, we can tell that the American people are living beyond their means. So if we are able to teach kids when they're very young, you can't live within your means. Listen, you get $1, this is how you spend that dollar, and this is how much you're going to have left. And there's that big reality of, oh my gosh, money doesn't go very far unless you manage it well. Kids should be taught how to budget their money, how to think about the spending habits, teaching them about jobs and how taxes are being paid out, Social Security, and what all that means. And what it means when you're putting your money into a bank and what your responsibility to that bank is and what that bank's responsibility is to you. Kids have no idea what goes on unless they have really good parents that sit down and say, listen, this is what happens with money. And I don't think that many parents do that. Because if you look at how kids have ended up in the debt that they're in and the decisions that they made to go into debt going into school, no one had that talk about money and what debt was all about. You see, this is what I believe. When you go to school, when you go to college, you have options. And part of that option is choosing a school that is within your financial budget. Not what you think you are going to get with that high-class degree from a high-class school, but what you are getting for your money at lower cost. And there are a whole bunch of colleges and community colleges out there that offer you an option. You don't have to sign on that dotted line of student debt because there are options out there. And parents and students need to look at what those options are. You may be going to a community college for the first 2 years of your degree process before you finally go on to another college. Let me tell you, your debt's going to be cut in half if you decide to go into debt. But see, that thought process is not taught in school. It's not taught on how do you manage your money and what are you getting for your money. A lot of you are also not focused on the degree process of what is a degree that's going to make me money. Instead, you go into degrees that don't get you anywhere. I know so many people who have taken liberal arts college credits and gotten a degree, but are not even working in the field that the degree is designed for, because there aren't that jobs out there. The decision-making process of choosing a degree that is going to get you somewhere is vital. Parents should be thinking about this, and students should be thinking about this. But it's the source and use of money that needs to be worked on and focused on and thought about. I think that when you start in the high school level and work your way up into college level, by then you should know exactly what is expected of you in your own personal finances. So it's vital. It's important. Listen, when I was in grade school, and I've told this story before, but when I was in grade school, we literally had a bank. Now I'm going to date myself because the school that I went to was a one-room school, and we had 15 kids in it. And it ranged from grades 1 to grades 5. But we had this bank that would come in, a personal banker would come in and would make our deposit slips out and would put our money into an envelope and would sign it and would add it up and total all the dollar bills and all the quarters and everything else and put it into an envelope and gave it to the banker, and she gave us a deposit slip back. And I was able to save up. And because I was taught how to save money, how not to go into debt. And to this date, I have zero debt. And it's because everything that I have done, if I could not afford it, I would not go into it. Now, when I had my businesses open in Los Angeles, we leased cars because we had to get around to go to clients' facilities and everything else, and haul nurses around and do everything else. So we leased some cars. That's the only time that I have had debt. At the very beginning, when I got out of college, I think I had like a $900 debt because I had worked in a furniture factory. I had worked as a janitor. I had done every single job that I could get my hands on to pay for my education. My parents didn't help me at all, so that was zero help. I was supposed to have gotten Social Security to help, but my dad took it, and I never got any of that money for my education. So I literally worked my butt off trying to get my way through college. I remember working many long hours in a furniture factory, putting sofas together, putting dressers together, putting bookcases together, dipping the bookcases. I mean, we did everything that we could. And then my second job was working for the dean of men at the dormitory, and I and a friend went down to the basement, and we had this one room where we piled up all of the desks and chairs that went into all of the rooms. And he and we sanded those things down, and then we varnished them and moved it on out. And that's what I did on the weekends. I literally did everything I could. And at that same time, I was working from 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 10 p.m. at night in the janitorial department, going from building to building to building. I don't have any fun memories of going to college because I was literally working all the time. And thank God I had that work ethic, because when I started my businesses and everything else, I had that work ethic. That is the other issue that we need to talk about in this personal finance process, is work ethic. Because work ethic is what makes you. And today what we're seeing is that a lot of companies are saying, we don't want to deal with the young graduate anymore because it's just too much work. We want to bring people in that have the experience. So people are coming in now that were in retirement and coming back into the workforce to help these companies out. Because the companies are saying, this is just too much of work. We don't know in which direction they're going. We don't know if they're woke. We don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to go on strike? What are they going to do? Because the whole thought process has changed in how they were taught in college. So work ethic is really important. And the people who are making it and who are making it big in this society now are the individuals with a really strong work ethic. The ones that are jumping from job to job to job have no work ethic. All they're concerned about is getting more money, more money, more money. But the quality of the work is piss poor. I'm sorry. It is piss poor. And so here we have it now, where we should have started the conversation very early on the responsibilities of money, the responsibilities of your work, and the ethics of your work. And that's where we need to be at the moment. So to all of you states out there and all of you school people out there, push that you have this class of personal finance and business within the high school level. And so by the time they're done with high school, at least they know how to manage their money, how to go out and get a job, how to write a resume, how to communicate. That is so very important. It's a whole span of knowledge that needs to be in a 4-year part of high school. Not just one class, but it needs to be one class per year. That's what I believe. I think we'll make really good citizens of this nation if we can just teach them the importance of their money. Maybe we would not be in this inflationary time. God, I think if you look at the credit card debt, it went up, $40 billion in 1 month? That's asinine. That's crazy. So, all of you out there, encourage your schools, encourage your principals and your school boards. Get that on the books. Get it as a class. Encourage your legislators to work on getting people. In fact, you know what? This doesn't even have to cost that much money. If you want to get volunteer business people in the community to come in and volunteer one class a month or one class a quarter or semester, however they may monitor it now, it can be done through volunteers. Just like we did volunteers for tutors for young kids in school. It was all volunteer. This does not have to cost big bucks. But it does have to cost time and dedication from business people back to their community. That's the best way, right? Instead of getting involved in politics, teach your kids some business. Teach them how to save money. So that is it for today. I would really appreciate it if you want to have more access to me. Go to my website at www.lodge-co.com. And if you want to make a donation to my podcast, if you like what I'm saying, please do it there. There's a little button that says Buy Me a Coffee. I believe in this education system if we can just get back to the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic and personal finance. We need that extra one. So let's start this week. Let's really think about this. Let's get our kids educated on money. And listen, if you adults need some education, let me know. I'll be more than happy to put together a program where we can do it on Zoom and we can talk about personal finance. If you're interested in that, let me know. Just send me an email at info@lodge-co.com. Again, that's lodge. I'm sorry. That's wrong. It's info@lodge-co.com. Everybody go out and have a great week. I will talk with you soon. God bless. Let's get it done.